Howdy folks, and welcome back to 50 Nautical Mile Arc, and we are on leg 7 of our Transcontinental series where we take the Beechcraft 1900 with a Delta Connection livery, and we are flying in segments from the west coast of the continental United States in California all the way to the farthest east airport in Maine I could find. And we're doing it in about 17 legs. This is leg 7. It's been a really long time. I think I've had, goodness, what's it been? I don't know, 8 flights, 6, 7, or 8 flights since the last leg of our series. So it's been a long time. So I'm glad to be doing this series again. I've been having a great time doing other aircraft, but I have to say this Carenado B1900D for X-Plane 11, I think, has moved up to my favorite aircraft. For a long time I've been saying the FlyJSM 727 was my favorite payware aircraft, but I think this finally knocked the king off its throne, and this is now my favorite. I've been doing some other things with it, and ever since the update to the X-Plane 11 version, this is taken over. I think that's where we're at with this. So I'm excited to be doing it again for the series. We are where we left off in West Woodward, Oklahoma, Kilo Whiskey Romeo, and it's not a modeled airport, so I just slid us over just sort of the whole line for runway 17. And we are flying real world weather today. We have a crazy 7-knot wind coming out 140 degrees, or yeah, out of into, like, yeah, it's 5 knots. So what, I don't even remember then. Whatever, we'll look at the map, it'll tell us when we get our barometer for altimeter. And we are flying to William R Pogue Kilo Oscar Whiskey Papa in Sand Springs, Oklahoma. So from one side of Oklahoma to the other side of Oklahoma. I forgot to get the distance. It's not very far. When I planned these legs, I did them all, oh my gosh, many months ago. And I started with really long legs, and I was having a hard time finding enough time in my real life to fly them. So then I started making a bunch of tiny legs again, and that's kind of where we're at. And we get closer to the Appalachian Mountains and the East Coast, the legs are very long again, so I might have to break them up. We'll see. But anyway, that's where we're at. I'm giving a long introduction because it's been a long time since we've flown this series. So that's where we are. I am going to pick up my checklist now, and we are going to get this thing started. So let's hop in the front. I'm going to keep my windows closed today. It just gets too loud with them open. And we are, first of all, I'll let you know, I am using external power, and we do have all the lights on in the back so people can board and they can see what they're doing. So what we're going to do first, though, like usual, is we're going to check our fuel. Now we have 2 hours of fuel. I don't think this would be a 2-hour flight, so let's keep it that way, though, because I can't remember real world weather. Like we said, it's 6, well, when I started the sim, it was 6 o'clock sim time. Now it's 6:06 because it took a while to get started. But it is time to get this thing fired up. So we are going to turn on the battery, turn on the avionics. All of our lights up ahead are the way we want them. Yes, everything is fine up there. Except now we want the tail and the recog. And let's turn on that other one and taxi because we're already sitting short. We can actually turn on landing lights too. Yeah, we'll do that in a minute. Keep taxi on though, because we're sitting at the end of the whole line. All right, come back down here. Drag autopilot. I still don't know why this goes up to the top like that. EFSIS, and time for a flight plan while people board here. So flight plan, flight plan. Let's clear that out. That is from our last leg. Menu actually first. There we go. I'm not used to this working. Like, if you remember the previous version, when I was trying to force this old version to work in the new version of the sim, it just wasn't working. But this does work now, so gosh, am I going to do the right? Oh, of course I messed it up. Hang on, let me back up out of here. How do I get out of here, though? That's the thing. There we go. Is it this one? It's that one. All right, I'm going to put in the flight plan by hand. Let's see. We are going to use some specific waypoints. We're on runway 17 because the winds are coming out of 140. That's as close as we can get into the wind. Right? Runway 17, 100 since coming out of 140. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So we're going to go to lasts. Last, not sure what that means. But we'll get that in there. Whoops, I got to remember how to do this all over again. I've been flying so much slant alpha in that 727 that I'm a little rusty, especially because, oh shoot, because in this version here, up is down. So if you want to go down in the alphabet, you have to scroll wheel up. And it takes a little bit getting used to. Alright, lasts US South, accept. Next waypoint then is ACERT. I guess ACERT. I need to go backwards. There we go. Alright, ACERT right there. Then after that, so this is where we make our transition towards runway 35 in Sand Springs, by the way, because the winds are a different direction there. According to SkyVector, we'll see how it really is in the sim when we get there. So next is Fancy. Alright, Fancy it is. And then next we have Penn, P-E-N-N-N. So up to go down, P-E-N-N-N. And then after that, it's the runway or the airport. Kilo Oscar Whiskey Papa. There we go. Alright, so let's go back up here. And we actually want to go direct to lasts. There we go. Activate that leg. Get out of the flight plan. And there we go. Piece of cake, right? We will worry about our VNAV once we get up in the air. I'm going to do VNAV a little differently. Normally I set VNAV to an altitude where we enter the approach. But I'm going to actually set VNAV and altitude to the last waypoint where we break free of GPS and go visual for that last little bit. Just to try things differently. Otherwise, with one pilot, I am adjusting altitude and resetting my alt select on iPod autopilot, and then we get there and they gotta lower it again, and then I'm just gonna just set it and forget it, and then adjust my throttle and vertical speed to intercept appropriately. Alright, so that's all for the flight plan. The rest is on my approach plate, which I have on my second monitor and printed out because my second monitor has been going blank on me during flight sim. So I have that all ready to go. We need to set CDI on the GPS. And radios, instruments. No radios or instruments. We'll turn ATC to standby. Doesn't really matter though. Altimeter. We are going to remember to do this today. So we're going to pull up the map. That is M on the keyboard. We'll click on the airport. Click on details, our barometer, altimeter 3041, and hopefully I will remember that. Really, 3041. Hopefully I remember to check at our arrival or destination airport. So I change it again. 3041, is that really what that said? Let's just double check one more time. 3041 it is. Okie dokie. We're all set there. Hop out here. We're going to remove our static elements. And we're going to close our doors, including the cockpit door. So if you jump around, you can actually watch that close. All fancy and everything. Alright. We are going to come down here and make sure our parking brake is set. And it is. Fuel switches. I'm so excited for X-Plane 11.10 so I can have an extra preset for my fuel switches. And there we go. Same amounts of fuel as usual. Reset all this stuff. And external power turns off. Battery is on. So, here we go. What was that? That was weird. I'm kind of scared to look. There could be like a gremlin standing outside or... Huh. That was quite startling. Anyway. Right engine. We'll start now. What you're supposed to do is introduce just the right condition lever. About halfway. And then once it stabilizes at 50% on the turbine, you go the rest of the way. But I'm impatient, and they only have one axis on my yoke for both condition levers. So once that turbine gets to 12, we're giving it full fuel, and it should take off on its own. And it is. And we can watch for proper rotation in here, or we can hop outside. And there it is. So let's hop back down here and do the actual rate generator. Then we'll do left auto ignition. The turbine will take off now because the condition lever is already forward. That's not a problem. And there we go, proper rotation. We can also check out our side window view, and we see it rotating there. So generator on, lid closed, AC bus, right and left, rudder boost, which my preset has been moved to here. We'll come over here. Whoop, I changed presets. Climate. Climate. Blowers. Furnace on. Manual cool, so it doesn't get to 120 degrees. Auto temp I'll put on decrease. Otherwise, our cabin temp here shoots right up to 120. While we are here, we'll test our overspeed and our stall. And there we go. And anything else I need to do there? Yes, cabin pressure, so we'll turn on both bleed valves. Come down here between the seats. We're only flying at 16,000 like normal. Actually, I wanted to just check and see how high this went. I was just curious. 15, let's see. Can't see. Does that say 35? Of course, we'll never get that high in this aircraft. But anyway, so 17 right in the middle, because 16 plus 1,000 are right in the middle. This will go all the way clockwise just for the sake of the sim. And our cabin pressure is ready to go. Let's hop up here now and let's test all of our warning lights, make sure everything is working. And it is. Very nice. Auto feather to arm. Let's put that right there. Generator ties closed. Auto ice. Stall warning. Pitot heat. Normal. I guess we only have normal off. It should be normal off and high, but it's normal. That is fine with me. Let's put this yoke back in. I think we can put this yoke back in. Prop sync on. Autopilot. We're going to shoot up to 16,000. Like so. And simple as climb. 2,200 feet per minute. Oh, that's right. Sometimes it's even, sometimes it's odd. That's so weird. We're going to do a little different today. We're going to do a heading bug right off the runway. And then we'll get in touch with our GPS. So heading, alt select, vertical speed 2,200. Autopilot is correct and set there. TCAS, turn you on. Looks like we might have some aircraft out there already. And we're going to come up. Taxi lights are already on. So we're going to put our props to taxi. Hear the pitch change a little bit. And we're going to go out onto the runway. Flaps down right now because we're already there. We'll just do one set of flaps. And here we go. Head out into the runway. Alright, we'll stop right there. Set the parking brake. Hop inside. Landing lights will come on. Flood will come off. Overhead will come off. Emergency to normal. I should have actually done that when I closed the doors. The emergency thing. I'll have to add that to my list. Alright, enter runway, flaps down, reading cabin, emergency. Oh, I have a note here that emergency goes to normal now. Seems kind of late, but I want to make a note of that right now. There we go. So now I don't have to ask myself every single time. There you go. Alright. Oh, that'll stay on. Fast seatbelt will stay on. Alright, anti-collision. See, when I start at the end of the runway like that, things are a little different. So let me get back in the groove here. Trim for takeoff. We'll do that right about there. Alright, that's everything. just need to start our stopwatch now. Select flight timer. Ready? There we go. Now we're ready to go, I think. Can't think of anything else. Checking the checklist, everything is good. So let's do props forward, parking brake, and we'll just throttle up and roll out of here. I did want to do one more thing. Heading bug, set to current heading. See, normally I use GPS and nav, but I want to try using heading first. So that's a little slight change. Thus wasn't on my checklist to set heading bug to runway heading. I'll show you why in a moment. So we only have one set of flaps. We're going to rotate now. And we're up. And we're going to, whoa, engage autopilot. Flaps coming in, gear coming in. Autopilot is set. So let's come down here a second. And our GPS is that way. So let's take this. And which way is it going to scroll? Why isn't that scroll wheeling on me? Let me move this out of the way. There we go. Let's, oh boy. Come on. Why is this being all goofy? I'm sure it's my problem. So let's use your heading bike like we would in the 727 to go a little past the GPS so that we'll intercept with it. And once we get closer to there, we will change our autopilot to nav instead. This is a slightly different way of doing it. I really want to sight you right now. This is beautiful, and I forgot my presets all changed. That's not right either. Let's try this again. How neat is that? Good. But we can't do that right now because we have to manage our engine so we don't blow up. So we'll bring the throttle back a little bit. Remember, you got 5 minutes to get this under control. See our torque coming down. Get torque in the green. And there we go. Get our props in the green. And there we go. So we're all set. Autopilot, heading, vertical speed, everything. I'm just going to keep an eye on my GPS. And once we start to intercept that, then we will switch over to nav. Why is our time going up on our estimated time? That's kind of strange. So yeah, this is a very short flight. I try to plan them to be 90-minute flights. And obviously, this isn't going to be... I mean, that's just our first waypoint. So at our approach, it's still going to be less than an hour. Let's see. Something I should probably do, though. Nav, never mind. Okay, I thought I was going to tell me what my course needed to be set to. Anyway, so we'll just watch that. Oh, green line starting to come in. See that? So it's getting closer. Just as it about intersects, that will change the autopilot over to nav. Like I said, just a different way of doing things. So in the meantime, though, let's have a good sight see. Goodness gracious! While we're waiting for that line to intercept, there you go, Midwest. It's not farms though. Ooh, I like the haze. So low visibility, high pressure, kind of. Hardly any wind. Simple weather. There we go. About to intercept. So let's hit nav on the autopilot. Is it going to turn us? It is going to turn us. There we go. Turn us to intercept. Let's have a nice look outside here. And we're just going to keep climbing and climbing. This should be good screenshot material. There we go. Middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. So that's it. Let me do our after checklist here. It's too early to turn off landing lights, but gear is up. Flaps are in. You can't see them. I'm going to have a new preset for flaps once we have the new version of X-Plane. Clock is running. Been 3.5 minutes so far, just about. All the lights where they're supposed to be. I'll manage landing lights in a moment. And we are good to go. Let's turn off these map lights, though. They're just gonna... do not need to be on. There we go. We got a lot of frames back. Holy cow. Alright. Well, there you go, folks. Just like every leg, we're all set. We're just gonna do some sightseeing. I'll set VNav in a moment. Let's do some sightseeing first. We have a long enough time to go that we can sightsee and enjoy Oklahoma. So that being said, catch in a couple minutes to set that VNav. Alright, we're going to turn off our landing lights now, and then we're going to come down and set our VNAV. So VNAV, I want to be at how many feet? 1760 feet. Alright, how do I get this started? No, don't do this to me. There we go. Alright. 1760. So there's 17, 18. Let's do 17 feet at. 0 would be at pen, which should be right there. There we go. And we want to go about 1,000 feet per second down. Alright, let's double check our work. 1,700 feet. Not 17,000, but 1,700. Mean sea level at pen. And 1,000 feet per minute. And we're starting to level off now because we're at cruise altitude. So we'll see how far that comes down. But I'll keep an eye on that on my own. Let's see if we zoom out, which I never get the right way. There we go. So that's going to be 25. Yeah, actually, okay, so the flight is a sizable flight. It's not as short as I thought it was going to be, which is totally fine. So let's see how everything else is going. Everything's still in the green, right? Ooh, we can really give a lot of throttle. Our torque is way down. Let's give that a lot of throttle so we can get cruising on through here. There we go, even more. Oh, our turbine's at 99.7. Let's not. What happens if I go full throttle? Oh, it's going to stay at 99.7. Let's back that off a little bit. There we go. 99.5, 99.6, good enough. Propped everything is in the green. And no radio's tuned, so that green course, that's just our GPS. What's our message telling us here? Inside, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. We can close that now. Alright, we're cruising. Clear skies. Very low visibility, though. Can't really see anything, can we? Well, that's okay. At least it's realistic. And, that all there's to it. I'll catch the top of descent, and then as we approach, we will check our destination airport, altimeter, things like that. We'll check our weight chart so we land at the right speed. That's been working out a lot. So very simple. One more thing I wanted to say. When I did my tutorial recently for this, it took about 27 minutes to get this thing started up when I was talking about it. Ooh, clouds. But for this flight, it took me like 12 minutes to get going. Oh, I was enjoying those like 60 frames per second. Now we're at like 18. Oh well, whatever. Nice. We have something to look at. This is very nice. All right. So when's our dealio? 15 minutes. I'll see you my time in 15 minutes. So we're about to reach top of descent, but if you notice at the top of the screen, somehow I'm getting ATIS information, and I don't know why or how. The only thing I can think of is by adjusting my altimeter, perhaps I triggered something in the sim, but I've never had ATIS before in hundreds of flights. So I don't know what I did. I've come down to my radios and I've turned off my comm and nothing, it's still there, and it'll go away and come back too. It's really strange. I've turned on my ATC, turned that on and off, that hasn't changed anything. And see, it goes away and comes back. See that? It just flashes off, and I don't know what it is. I don't know. I've changed my frequencies so that I've been something completely different. And move that up. That doesn't turn it off. I played with my radar over here on the Avidyne. That didn't do anything. So I have no idea why, after hundreds of flights, I'm suddenly getting ATIS, which, I mean, I guess it's okay, but it's annoying because I've read it 10 times. I just keep rereading it while I'm killing time here waiting for top of descent. And it won't go away. So I have no idea. Ooh, nice to see the clouds get thicker though. But the sun's coming down though. See that ATIS thing is going to be in the way now. Doggone it. Good thing I already took my screenshots, because I don't know what's going on. That's a pretty view though. That is really nice. Anyway, I need to we gotta manage top of descent. We're at top of descent, we gotta come down. We are not gonna land at airport. So we got 1 minute to figure this out. So we are gonna go all the way down to, well, what's it, 1760. I'm just gonna put in the last altitude before we kill autopilot and land ourselves, before we go visual, in other words, because this is a GPS RNAV approach. It is not an ILS approach, so we're not going to switch over to ILS or anything. We are just going to use GPS all the way to minimums and take over manually, and those minimums are, well, minimums are at 1760, but that's your last waypoint marked in here, 1760. 1700 is going to have to be good enough. So there we go. Are we ready to descend? And right now. Alright, so that is set. Let's pull up autopilot, and we are going to descend 1,000 feet per minute, because that's what we set to do. Nav, descend 1,000 feet per minute, alt select. And if we go back to our VNav, we put in 1,000 feet per minute, that's our profile. The actual descent we need to do is 960 or so. So that should level off, and I'll make fine-tune adjustments based on our VSR as we go. I am adjusting throttle so we don't overspeed, but I do want to keep our speed up. I don't want to suddenly slow down, because then we'll just be sitting here forever. So there we go. That's all we had to do. When it gets closer to 10,000 feet, I'll turn the landing lights back on. We don't need to worry about anything else right now. Barometer we'll check in a moment, although with that ATIS up there, it's kind of telling us the whole time what it is. Oh, it went away. Nope, it came back. Anyway, so all we gotta do now is keep an eye on our VSR, adjust our descent to keep pretty close to that, watch our speed so we don't overspeed, and otherwise I will see you when it is time to manage the aircraft. Alright, so it's time to turn on our landing lights and keeping an eye on our vertical speed. We've been holding good so far. We are descending at 1,000 feet per minute, and we've been holding there pretty well. Well, it's just a couple minutes till we turn, and then once we turn, things are going to go fast. So I got to be on top of it and ready to go. I'm hoping autopilot will get us pretty much down on the runway, and I'll take over. I'm trying so hard to ignore that banner on top of the screen, and I can't. Ooh, that was cool. I like that. I like when we go through clouds like that, we can see down a little bit. Our frame rates are pretty good, too, if you look at it. We're in the 20s, even with all these clouds. That's awesome. Very nice. Oh, there you go. Now, that's what I'm talking about. This is my favorite type of scenery. When you're kind of getting lower to the bottom of the clouds there, and you kind of see the breakthrough of the ground. Oh, that is really cool. Let's see, where are we at? Not much else going on. I guess we can probably get the altimeter for the landing airport. Might as well, since we're close enough anyway. Let's pull up our map and let's close this. And what airport are we going to? KWOP, or well, I guess it's not KWOP, it's KOWP. Click on that. Details. 3042 is the altimeter. 3042. So let's close the map. Come on down here. 3042. Doesn't really change. Actually, it does change much. Look at. Good. Okay. I totally lost track of what I was doing because there's this red light shining on my attitude indicator. And I don't know what that red light means. I guess I'll look that up too. Whoa! Wait! Look at this. This is awesome. Whoa, let's see if it looks like that from outside. It's okay, I guess, from outside. The sun has been setting behind us slowly. Let's actually look at, how about this wing? There we go. Actually, you know what? This looks better. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. I'm so giddy with this cloud stuff, just like it was in the last leg. Oh, and it's gone just like that. Very cool. Oh, we better slow down. We're going to hit overspeed in a second. We're just bumping that overspeed flag. Holy cow. Alright, let's see here. We're 3 minutes out from our approach, so let's check things out here. 800 is our profile because we're slowing down, so that's going to go down as well. Otherwise, landing lights are on. Too early for flaps, too early for gear. This scenery, oh my gosh. Wow, with the sun setting, it's getting dark, the clouds, interior shots of the cabin. Let's look at the back quick, and then we'll, wow, look at this, and then we'll land this plane. Look at that. Oh man. This is what it's all about, everybody. I'll never be able to do this in real life. This is what it's all about. Alright, we do have to land the plane. We don't need to slow down yet. I'm just going to keep this speed going as long as we can. How's our descent profile looking? 800 feet per minute. We better tone it down then. 800 feet per minute. Now slow us down a little bit too. So landing lights are on. Too early for gear. Too early for flaps. We set the barometer. Now we're going to do our approach flags. Let's get our weight and fuel. What are we at? 13,223 for weight, so 13,000 pounds. Full flaps, landing at 104. So there's 100, there's 10. So I'm actually going to bump this up a little bit so I know I don't stall out. So there we go. That is our landing speed. Our approach speed then is 114, which is not, let's see, 120, 10, 100, 10. Our approach speed then is right there. Approach and landing. There we have it. Airport's coming into view on the GPS. Let's bring this in a little bit more. There we go. What's our descent looking like? Okay, we're still ahead of schedule because their VSR is going down. Everything's looking good there. 143. As soon as we make this turn to the left, that's when we will get gear out. Whoa! We will get gear out. I am just in awe right now by how this looks. So nice. The car's down there, the stoplight's down there. I don't know the area, so I don't know what interstates those are. Maybe they're just US highways. But I'm going over my approach checklist again. Everything except gear and flaps. And that's just because we're going way too fast for both of those things. I'm just going to trust everything. Alright, let's start slowing down. Bring throttles back a little bit. Everything else is set. No spoilers to arm or anything. Let's just start slowing down now. While that's doing that, I'm going to get our binoculars out. Huh. Does seem like we're pretty off to the right on that runway though, but we'll just see what GPS has to do. We are doing the published approach. Wow, look at that. We'll do a little bit of sightseeing right now since we're on autopilot yet. Then we won't have to go back with replay and do our auto. Oh, too many things going on at once. Do our sightseeing now while we're on autopilot with the GPS. Oh, look at that. So that we don't have to use the replay mode to do our sightseeing. Oh my gosh, how amazing is that? Alright, it's time to manage what we're doing. So, at Penn, we want to be at 1760. We're almost there. Gear down. And at Penn, we'll kill autopilot, which is really close. Really close. Not sure why. It looks like we're off to the side of our runway, but you know what? I'm not gonna worry about it. First set of flaps. Let's have a look outside one last time. There we go. We're going a little slow. Our flaps aren't happy out. Hang on, it's going to float because I just got flaps out and autopilot is hunting for the altitude, which means I should probably kill autopilot now. And we're stalling, it says, because I'm not paying any attention. Let's fix that quickly. There we go. So that's interesting. Our stall horn went away at 80 knots, even though we're supposed to land at 104 according to my chart. Anyway, we recovered. That was a disaster sightseeing. I should know better, but that's okay. I'm going to sightsee again anyway. While we're hand flying, if you haven't noticed. Wow. Anybody from the area, that's what it looks like coming over that river, but we have to land the plane. Yeah, we're not quite ready to come down yet, though. We're a little low. We passed Penn. Let's come up a little bit. I'm too busy sightseeing and yakking. Alright, I think we're going to have a sterile cockpit until I land this thing, because there is a bank over this river that we're going to run into if I'm not careful. So, sterile cockpit. I'll see you on the runway. Okay, I'm in enough control. I'll start talking again. So, we're perfectly set on the glide slope. We have recovered from our little mix-up. But once I land, I'm going to tell you why I'm glad that happened. I'll talk about in a minute. So there's our approach speed. Come back to our landing speed. But I'm going to let this slow down slower than that flag. And see if we stall out here. So let's slow down our descent here. There we go. Keep that nose wheel up. And let's count for the wind. Nose wheel is down. Let's use reverses because we can. We obviously don't have to. And we're going to set our parking brake and turn off the landing lights before we bother a lot of people here. Alright, we'll turn this stuff on too. It's kind of hard to see here. There we go. Actually, ours can stay dim. Theirs will turn on. Again, that looks like this. Turns on all their lights. Not their top lights, though. Those top lights come on with our top lights. Like so. But then it's really bright in the cockpit as well. So, let's just taxi ahead here. Taxi lights would be nice for that. Turn off the parking brake. I don't know where we're going. Let's just go that way. Props back down to taxi as well. We'll get that awesome sound. That ATIS is driving me crazy. Alright, let's check out some replays of this landing. I think it went pretty well, but I was too busy looking at other things too. So let's have some replays and let's see what's going on with this. Alright, I backed us up quite a ways because I wanted to see those city lights in the background, and then the river, and then the river bank, and then forest. That looks really, really, really awesome. We're just going to watch that disappear, and then we'll swing around to the runway and check out the landing. But I was so busy sightseeing, I got kind of low. So what have we learned time and time again? If I don't sightsee, I can actually land a plane. Well, but if I sightsee, we're in big trouble. So I got to stop the sightseeing. So there we go. Yeah, it did that X-Plane 11 thing where it kind of dropped at the last second, which I thought has been my fault this whole time, but I found out that's not my fault. That's the sim. And those who went down gently. Could have been better. Could have been better. And I could have counted for that crosswind better too. Anyway, the scenery looks nice. The scenery makes up for it. Let's check out a long wing view. Alright, so you're looking out the right side of the plane coming over the river. Again, I apologize for not looking ahead of time at the geography. So I can't name names or roads or suburbs or parks or anything. Can't even name that river. But that is a highway, as we can tell. Let's look out the other side quick. Now that looks fantastic. Wow, that looks nice. And there is our highway again. Alright, let's see. Should we speed this up to landing? I think we should. Let's speed this up a little bit because this is just forest here. So we're going to speed this up a little bit. And when it clears out, we're coming up on the runway. So there we go, right about there. And, yeah. Wasn't terrible. If it were a really short runway, that would have been fine because we'd want to plant it and stop. But, it wasn't a short runway. And I didn't account for the crosswind, so we kind of drifted to the right. But hey, I didn't slam the nose wheel down. So let's check out the runway view and then we'll hang this thing up. Alright, short approach here. It's not that interesting, I guess, but the lights look nice. And they had, oh yeah, there was a bit of crosswind on that. Oh yeah, there was quite a bit of crosswind, but for as much as I fly this plane, there's no excuse for that landing. There's so many things wrong with that. I won't even keep talking about it. I do want to see if there's a tower view though. Let's give it a shot. Tower view with binoculars. Now what's interesting about this is if you notice all that city and everything on the other side of the river, and then there's a river, then there's this forest, and then there's nothing around except an airport. So I'm really excited now to check out this area in real life on Google Maps and satellite and see what this is like, because this is really interesting. You go from a pretty dense area to nothing. Let's back that up one more time. I want to see how bad that was. Backing it up, coming in, and my flare was just way too late and way too weak, and yeah, I don't know. I was trying to clear those trees and then land after it, but anyway, I will stop complaining about my terrible landing and let's park this thing. I guess it is parked. Well, let's go back to real time. And it looks like somebody got pulled over. I don't really know why you'll get pulled over in the airport parking lot, but somebody did. Oh well. Better luck next time, buddy. Alright, let's get our taxi lights off. And why won't my taxi lights move? You see that? My taxi lights disappeared on me. Let's try that view again. Look, that's hilarious. Let's get these things all the way up though. Huh, very interesting. So map lights on. Roll back the condition levers. And what was our say? 44 minutes and 11 seconds. And we're doing replays, obviously that wasn't counting. So 44:11. 44 give or take, because we were supposed to stop that sooner. Let's turn external power on. Just turn off some of this stuff here. I'm curious what our cabin temp. There we go. A balmy 50 degrees. So I guess I could have warmed this up a little bit more. Oh, those reset too. See, whenever you do replays, some stuff goes kind of funky when you come back to the cockpit. That's just the nature of it. Anyway, what else can we do? I'm not terribly worried about a lot of this stuff. I'm just going to turn up. Yeah, we have to keep battery on even with external power in this. Alright, let's open this up. Let's open up some doors and get our baggage open here. And get our static elements out. The props have stopped. And also probably turn off some of these extra lights. We'll keep tail flood on. And we'll get that turned on so people can see it. Otherwise, I think that's it. Let me check my checklist here. Cabin lights, landing lights, taxi, anti-collision, external power. I actually skipped my checklist until now. That wasn't very professional, was it? But anyway, everything is all lit up. And everybody's ready to deboard. So let's hop outside one last time. So here we go. Thank you for flying with us today. Sorry about the bad approach, but as we know, every time I sightsee, we have a bad approach. If I don't sightsee, everything goes great. So I'm going to have to stick to my guns and land the plane for the sake of landing the plane. If we want to look around, we can always use the replay feature. So there you go. Where are we? I forgot. It's so late right now in real life time. I won't be in bed for hours. What is it? We're in Sand Springs, Oklahoma. I'm going to research the area in the real world. I'm going to plan for our next leg. And with that, I'll catch you on the next one.